This artwork is called Theodicus of Vladimir. It was made in the early 12th century in 1131. The medium used is tempera on panel. It was painted in Constantinople or modern-day Istanbul, which a lot of Byzantine art and influence came from. The Salem Press Encyclopedia states that the heart of the Byzantine Empire sat on a geographic and political divide between Europe and Asia, and it included a broad cross-section of other indigenous culture groups. As a result, we see Byzantine art having a mixture of influences, including Roman, Greek, Egyptian, Christian, and Persian. This painting was a gift to the Grand Duke of Kiev, which is now the capital of Ukraine. In the Encyclopedia of Sacred Places, it states that this work is the most precious icon of Russian Orthodoxy. It's become a devotional object far beyond Russia or Orthodoxy. Looking at this work, the element of space is lacking in depth, which creates a very flat image, which is quite common in Byzantine art. Today, only the faces and hands are from the original painting. The clothes had to be repainted after a fire in 1195. Looking at the Mother Mary's face, her gaze is looking off instead of looking at the baby Christ for an emotional connection. It gives us a sense of mystery of where she's looking off to. This image also shows a progression by Byzantine artists because not many of other works from this time show a bodily emotion seen by the baby Christ muscling his mother's face. We also see different variations in proportion in this piece. Looking at the baby's head, we also see iconography in the mother's robe, which is seen to represent heaven, and as we know, the mother being Mary and the child being Christ. Today, this work can be found inside a gallery in a functioning church in Moscow. This artwork is very reminiscent of the period and also has qualities of other regions and from other art, such as Greek.
Jordan, and speaking of Greek art, I'm currently in Greece at the Archaeological Museum of Piraeus in Piraeus, visiting their bronze statues of Piraeus exhibit. Original Greek bronze art is extremely rare since bronze was often melted down and recycled. Here at the exhibit, we have 4 statues: the Greek goddesses Athena and Artemis, and a Kouros of Apollo. The sculpture that particularly caught my eye, though, is Piraeus' tragic mask, also crafted of bronze and copper alloy dating back to around the 4th century BC. All the works in this room, however, were deposited around the same time of the 1st century BC. The tragic mask and the 4 bronze statues were discovered in Piraeus during building excavations in 1959. According to the subsection titled Mask in the Columbia Encyclopedia, the many masks used in ancient Greek drama represented the character being portrayed by the actor, and were constructed to portray a fixed emotion, such as grief or rage. Greek masks also had metallic mouthpieces that enhanced the resonance of an actor's voice. Figures of tragic masks such as this were also frequently carved into the walls of Greek theater. It is widely accepted that the figure may have been a votive deposit of some sort, considering the mask was deposited alongside the sculptures of Athena, Artemis, and Apollo. In Greek theater, masks were often used to bring the characters' faces closer to the audience. The masks also had a sense of depth to them, which aided in acoustics. The wearer's voice could be carried further in a megaphone-like fashion. These masks were also worn by the chorus and allowed for an easier perception of the sounds and songs from the performers. Now, we don't know for certain who the artist was, but they seem to be communicating the very essence of classic Greek tragedy. The Greek ideal, as mentioned in the book, Greek sculpture, its spirit and its principles, is portrayed here with the powerful tragic emotion. The author writes, "A body is a body," they apparently thought, beautiful in itself and well deserving of careful study. The question with them was not, what is the noblest thought which a body may be made to express, but what is the best was of representing the body itself. The exaggerated eyebrows, wrinkling of the forehead, and wide gaping mouth contribute to the tragic emotion of the shrieking man. The sculpture looks very similar to the way cartoonists illustrate a frightened character with wild, untamed hair that seems to defy gravity. This mask has a very classical feel to it, which is very characteristic of the Romantic age, the time period where emotions became a high point of interest. This sort of foreshadows what's to come in art and art history in the future.